Hi, I'm Daniel, it's Ashville Weekly, episode 110. This episode of Ashville Weekly is sponsored by HelloFresh. Monday morning, and I'm at Sideman Simon's house. We have finalized plans for the YouTube room. David and I are having a meeting. We are going to begin to discuss the layout of the room so we can accurately price it. Bespoke unit up here. We're going to keep the full height, and then we have the television. Now that television has a backlit panel. More than likely, he's going to have a camera on the top of it, and then we're going to have the bespoke units at the bottom, but the doors on the bespoke unit are going to be lit up. Over here, he's going to... Hopefully you missed that. So we're going to encase this, and we're going to use it as kind of like a dividing feature. And you know what we've used at the cinema project? We're going to have the acoustic panels here, but we just need to double check the timber color. It may be slightly different. We're going to have the same wall feature over here, but then we're going to have an LED profile above it, and the profile is going to light this way. To give divide and separation into the area, we're going to have wooden floor, and we're going to have carpet, but we need to make sure that we've got a good looking threshold. There's like a honeycomb feature going on the wall here. He has a vodka brand, XIX. That's going to be glass with the same blue light in it, just so when he sits at the desk over here, this is in the background. Above us, we will have the drop down green screen. This will be an electric blind. There'll be wallpaper on this wall. Every single wall will be a different textured wallpaper. Con is going to handle his setup. However, we're going to do the power at slightly higher like we did at KSI's. Where the wall is slanted like this, we're going to have a panelled lighting system, possibly the ones we used at the Central London Muse home in the kitchen. Yeah, in the utility as well. From the video when I went, yeah, so we can use that. There are 3 main data points in here, 1, 2, and 3. All of these points are going to need hardwired Ethernet, and everything in here will integrate into the Control 4 system. So we're going to have a touchscreen panel on the wall here. We're also going to have an engraved keypad here. We'll have one here, and we'll have one on the wall over there. We're also going to have 2 separate sound systems. 2 speakers in the ceiling here, connected here, and then when he's sitting here and he's watching TV, we will have a very small surround sound system. We've got all these different color lights on the wall. We've got this light, but we're gonna have to put some spotlights in for full brightness. I know it's a lot of information, but everything I've just said, I'm gonna bang it in the group now so you can work from it. I have to go to the refurbishment project. So if you start taking dimensions of the green screen, measure how much of the acoustic panel we need, and measure this so we can start working on the LED panel, yeah? You know, I've been trying to get in shape and I have a very busy schedule, so I don't have time for meal prep, and without good nutrition, you know that no diet is gonna work. If you're looking to kick your bad eating habits, HelloFresh offer an amazing subscription service to suit your lifestyle. That's why I use HelloFresh. It's all designed to work around you. You can pick a set of meals that you like, and it is designed to save you money and keep waste down. Healthy meals, all ingredients are fresh. Click on the link in my description box or go to hellofresh.co.uk. Their website app is easy to use. Here's how it works. You pick from 2, 3, or 4 people boxes with a choice of 2, 3, 4, and 5 meals per week. The fresh ingredients get delivered, then you cook, eat, and enjoy. I love how quick, simple, and easy it is. It helps me manage my meals and my calorie intake, and with 44 new recipes a week, you'll never get bored with what's on offer. My favorite at the moment are the mostly meaty recipes. The quicker it's cooked, the quicker I can get back to work and training. Everyone's gone home for the day, and dinner is served. Time to sit down, enjoy, and catch up with some World Cup action. To get 50% off your first order and 35% off your next free and free gifts, use my code Ashville50. Here we are at the refurbishment project, and we're full steam ahead with the structural work. But to show you exactly what we're doing here, I'm gonna have to jump in this hole. So at this level, we have the block and beam. That is the floor level. We need to do a pad here, which is this size. However, there are different levels. So we have to put shuttering in place here, and we have to completely box in this area. Then we are gonna pour right here. So this is gonna be a massive pad, and then the steel is gonna sit on top of this pad, and the steel is gonna support here. Now stay with me, because all these stills tie into each other. We are making another large pad that's going to go in this area. You can see the deep excavation we have to do here. Now there's a new steel going here. Now the steel that's gonna sit on top of the pad we're making, the other steel is gonna sit here. This wall is gone, this completely opens, we have bifolds. Over here, we have existing foundations. There's no point removing them. So we're gonna drill into the existing foundations, put rebar into them, and we are pouring pads here, here, and here. So we're gonna put pads there, we're gonna pour, and those pads are gonna tie into this pad, and then we're gonna have another steel here. Recap, 1, 2, 3, 4. However, we need to pick up the load from this. A steel will sit there, and that steel will come across, and that steel will bolt into the steel that's sitting on top of that steel, and the steel that's gonna go over here. So that will take the load here, and it will take the load here, which means this can go, that wall is open, and this can also go. Now last week you saw me on a Zoom with Sam talking about this staircase and how we're gonna make it work. So now you can see it in real life. We have like a landing area here with a massive window, and I don't want to lose that feature. So in order to make the staircase look cave, we have to bring the staircase out a little bit. We have to have a bottom step, which is bigger, like we have here. Then we have to have the curved staircase move in. It will go round here and then back into the wall to support people who are on that landing. And when it comes from here, it will go this way and curve all the way up. And then we will have another part of the staircase over there, which curves from the wall and goes out and then curves back into the wall up there. I know it sounds like a lot of curving. Hopefully with this drawing here, it makes more sense. First floor, this area is going to be a couple of bedrooms and ensuite bathrooms. Some of these walls needed to stay, but when we started to take them apart, they were so damaged, we just knocked them down anyway. We're going to build our own walls out of a stud system, which is going to be easier to work with so we can run our services through them. For instance, here, the new door that has to go on this, by the time I start cutting out this wall and removing things and putting lintels in it, there's no point. So I might as well just knock this entire wall down and build another wall. With the space we have within this area, even though there is a loft going here, we can run all our services through the ceilings and then down through the cavities in the walls. In this area, we've removed all the walls and we have these acros in place providing support. That wall has got to go, and so is the other wall. We're supporting this, and then we're supporting it on the floor below, and this support is going all the way to the basement. So we're going to put a couple of steels in and take these down. There's no point in us completely supporting the whole house on acros because we're waiting for the engineer to change his plan, because when we started uncovering stuff, like, we realized a lot of things. For instance, this wall over here. Now this is all part of a wardrobe, but now you can see there is a steel here what's sitting on this here. So we didn't know this was here before. So we have to remove this wall and we have to put a steel going from here to here to pick up this post. But it doesn't matter because it's a walk-in wardrobe and we can fit it within the bespoke cabinetry. Looking at the floor, I don't know how they got away with it. They just put insulation on top of this underfloor heating screed. You can see the amount of different levels and imperfections. They had no cracks, it was perfectly fine, but I can't take that risk. So any areas where there are massive differences, we're just gonna fill it with a bit of sharp sand just to bring it up. So take the Kangol first, clean all the bits off it that we possibly can, give it a sweep, and then fill in some areas with sand, and then we're gonna put the insulation on top of it so we get it that bit more perfect, so we reduce the risk of any cracking. In the basement, this is all going and we're putting a steel in here to support. Now it's a 2-meter opening, but when I've had a look at it, I'm actually going to make it as big as I possibly can. The only thing we need to support is some blocks, what you can see in a gap up there. Now here we have a steel which is a C. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an H steel and we're going to push it into it so it sits within it, and that is going to support this entire area. We want as much floor space as we can at the higher level, and the stairs are going to change. Instead of coming into this area, the stairs are going to go that way. We're going to drill into this, we're going to put rebar through it, we're going to put up shuttering, and we're going to pour a slab here, so this is all the same height. At the back of the house, we have some of the scaffolding up, but we still have more to do. We've stopped building at the back, we're now at the front. We need to build both of them up, and we're gonna have a temporary roof. As soon as we have the temporary roof, we're gonna start stripping off the existing roof tiles and begin to do the roof refurbishment and the structural work within the loft. At the moment, we're waiting on the architect to give us some drawings, and the engineer saying he needs them, but the architect saying he needs to know the information from the engineer. At the same time, we're finalizing a plan for the stairs so we can present it to the client so they can say yay or nay, or what changes they'd like to make. We're working on the interiors, what I told you about a few weeks back, creating a mood board for each of the rooms. We're looking at the kitchens and the bathrooms at the same time, creating renders for those areas. This week's a little bit slow because we found things that we didn't know were here. So now we're just trying to adapt and get around those. And as soon as we have the new plans, we'll be full steam ahead again. And now, despite everything that's going on the 25, I have to go to another site. Bespoke high-end bathroom number 1. We've completely stripped out the area and we've built it back. You can see the ply on the floor and all the walls are going to be covered with ply. We are putting jackboard on all the walls, not just in the wet area. You can see the shower on the floor here. If you look there, you can see the linear grille. We have a niche here and a niche there. And here is where the shower mixer is going to go, and the shower head is going to be in the ceiling here. We've cut the wall out because the cabinet is going to sit flush. And then once we build it up here with the jackboard adhesive and the slabs, not tiles, the slabs, we're going to finish flush with the front of the mirror, and that is going to have a light behind it. Underneath this point, the taps are going to be wall mounted, and then we're going to have a bespoke sink here made from the same stone as the slabs, and then underneath that there will be a cupboard. On this wall there will be an LED light which runs from here all the way to there, and on the other side of the sink the same, what creates a small divide. The bath will be there, and the bath mixers and shower heads will be at this side of the wall. This entire area is being prepared for the stonemasons to come here. They're going to make all of this bathroom out of slabs. So when we've built the construction of the bath as well, which will be made by 4x2, we're going to have a big piece of stone that's going to sit on top of that, and the bath is going to sink into it. We're going to have stone all around the sides. Everything has to be built so when they come here, they can template. So we'll have a piece here, we'll have a piece here, we'll have a piece there, as big as we can possibly get it. We obviously need to be able to physically get it up the stairs and get it into this room. So by the end of this week, we will be prepared for templating. When we are ready for templating in here, we'll move over to the other bathroom, which I'm about to show you now. This bathroom is a strange size and layout, but we do the best we can with the space, and it should look really nice afterwards. We're just using it for storage. This is the bath for the other bathroom, what I just showed you. Up here, we are going to have mirrors all along this side. So we're going to put ply on here and mirrors will be fitted to it. So all the natural light will be bouncing around in this area. We're going to have a pink stone tile along all the walls here. The entrance to the shower is going to be there. We're going to have a shower in this area. The toilet will be here, and we will have a large sink here with a mirror. On the way back to the yard, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he's worked somewhere for like 10 years and he's going to leave, and he was saying that he was unhappy because he built that company and he's responsible for it, and the owner of the company, he doesn't know a thing, and he did it single-handedly. So I thought about what he said, and I thought to myself, okay, well, no problem. If you built one, build another one. If Ashville has to start again from scratch today, I know that I can build another one, and it will be better because I've learned so much. I don't want to, but I could. So therefore, if you built that company single-handedly where you are, build another one. What's the problem? I understand that you had a bad run there, but we all have bad runs. Even when you're building your own company, you make mistakes, you have setbacks that set you back years. I remember 2 years when I only operated just to break even, like when I first started out with the lorries, because I had some drivers which weren't fantastic, and we had horrible claims experience, and our insurance was so high per truck that we operated just to break even. And then we moved forward, and our insurance has come down steadily every year because of the procedures what I've put in place. You shouldn't be angry. Once it overcomes being angry, then if you built that company, take your time and build another one. Unless, of course, you really didn't build that company. Because if you didn't build that company, really, you'll struggle to build it again. But you did, so it's not a problem.
My Irish fans want to know why you didn't have me on talking to you last week. They're very upset.
Really?
All you had on this week was you and Danny DeVito. That's the only two that was on.
You've got to be on smoke. You've got to be starting on someone, ain't you? Now you're starting on Terry.
But remember, your mate list is very small. I think there's only about 2-3 names on it. I think that's me, Danny, and Danny DeVito. Oh, and Stormzy and MFI.
And KSI, not MFI. Yeah.
Oh, KSI. I don't know what his name is. MFI, KSI. They're all funny going getters like yourself, aren't they?
I mean, yeah,
Right.
everyone's trying. What are you doing?
How did you get on with them offices?
They're sat in my yard.
All of them back?
All of them back.
No hassle.
No hassle. Some fella borrowed us a trailer. 2 days, 2 trips a day. Nice and easy. They're in the yard now.
Lovely.
Anything happening out there?
Nothing. Very quiet. Very steady. Not quiet. It's quiet, but it ain't dead. But it's not great.
Which means you've probably got all 80 lorries out, all doing about 6 load a day.
No. My lorries anymore, are they?
Oh, they're not your lorries anymore. All right, cool.
My staff are very easily kept. There's only 3 of us.
Okay, that's you and the 2 ponies. I'm going to leave you to it because I'm about to get them into my yard.
Yeah. Go on then. I'll speak to you soon.
See you in a bit, my pal. Bye. In the tyre area, my favourite place at the moment, these here are 295 drives. And guess what? They're not punctures, they're all repaired. Here's a new tyre that we're going to try, but we don't know if it's going to work. Remold, looks good quality, but we don't know till we put it out in the field. But these are all ready to go on tippers if anyone comes back and they got a problem. Have a look over here. These are 295 steers. It's all divided up, and all of these are tyres which are repaired already and ready to go. We got scrap over there, so those ones standing up in that pile of scrap. Here we got the 395 drives. We'll go on the volley. We haven't tested them, but this is purpose built for what we're doing. Our new man spotted a few mistakes, what he's correcting. He's finding the punches on these, he's repairing them, putting the scrap to the side. Once we've got this all in order, then we're gonna do a stock take and see what other tyres we're gonna get in so we're ready to go. But the tyre work in the yard is working. I'm very happy about that. Tuesday morning, and I'm in the yard. Remember a couple of weeks back, I spoke to the Scania salesman and he gave me the price for the lorries and I fell off my chair. Since then, discussions have developed. Because of the work we got coming up, I've had to look at low entry cab lorries. Now, I'm gonna be honest, they are not my favorite because they're only a 9 litre and they're 360 brake, I believe, and they're a lot lower. So when you're going in and out of a tip or it's bumpy, you could end up losing your bumper. Now, you can raise them, but when you go over 10 miles an hour, they drop back down to the height. You go into tips where a conventional 8x4 tipper, like the ones we got at the moment, where they can handle it. But the low entry cab is more designed for work going into central London, so you have more vision, so you can see any obstructions or vulnerable road users. But they're more suited to the city. However, a tipper needs to tip somewhere, unless of course that tipper is only ever used to deliver material, which ours won't be. We can compare them side by side. Let's have a look at the front, chassis, and the internals. Now I want the standard tippers, but there's particular work that I want to do, and we have to be seen to be moving forward into a new age, and these low entry cabs give us 5-star vision, and actually more expensive as well, of course, because how could anything ever be cheaper? I'm gonna have a long, hard think about that before I push the button on the order. Yesterday when I was at the refurbishment project, I showed you the stairs firsthand, but here I can show you a render that has come back. You can now see what I was talking about yesterday compared with the staircase and the work we have to do. We're gonna hand it over to a staircase fabricator because they need to develop this design. So they need to work on the balustrade, work out how they're going to cut the balustrade out, how they're going to fit the handrail and the LED profile that I want to go around it. But this is a good starting point for the people who are going to be looking at it. The Volvo tipper is also now in the repair bay. We have a few things that we spotted on a check on it last night, so we've kept the lorry in for today and we're waiting for the parts to come from Volvo. As soon as they do, we're going to repair it so we can hopefully get it back out on the road tomorrow. It's Wednesday and I'm in the yard and I completely forgot to film, but Terry has walked into the video office and he's walked into the office with a hard drive from the camera system, which can only mean one thing, that there was an accident. I'm not saying it's our fault. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm not saying the truck's damaged. I'm not saying that it's not. But thankfully, we already know that nobody was hurt. But when I see this hard drive, I know that there was a problem. I completely forgot to film today. I've been back to back on Zooms. I just watched episode 108 and I'm just going through parts of 109, and I don't feel like filming now because Will's alarm's going off. That's the school bell for Will. Will has to run out of the yard as we speak because the alarm went off. You know in Saved by the Bell, you see Screech. That's my man. He's about to dust out when 5 o'clock on the dot comes. So I'm not going to film no more today because it's been a long day and I forgot to film and someone crashed a lorry. That's it for Wednesday. Thursday morning. Daniel is rolling on the road again. I'm heading into Central. I just got off a conversation. We are trying to map out the future of Ashville and what we want to do. And there were some people at QPR who we entertained the other day and they wanted advanced conversations. While I was very passionate about it, it was all very scattered. Oh, we want to do this and we want to become national and concrete batching plant and wash plant and this and that and we're actually going to try to simplify it and put the journey so far in bullet points and a timeline and put where we want to go and how we want to do it. But before we do that, we're going to set a date in the diary and then we're going to prepare something, kind of like a PowerPoint presentation that can kind of rein in all the information and all the ideas and all the passion that's flying around. Michael, my brother, you are older than me.
I heard...
Oh God, here we go.
I heard through one of my scouts that you were spotted on the manor. I heard that there was a cheap man's Range Rover spotted in Tottenham.
I mean, and immediately you thought of me.
Yes.
But Michael, I got a question for you.
Go on, my friend.
In the words of a garage song from about 15 years ago, are you really, really from the ends, Michael? Because my sources tell me that you're actually from West London and you're in North London calling it the manor. How do you plead?
We plead, I might have to speak to my solicitor or I might have to talk to a friend on that one. It's true, we're originally from the Kilburn area. All Irish community headed for Kilburn or Crickerwood when they landed to London.
So really, you're talking about the North London manor. You're not even really from the ends, are you?
No, we're not from the ends, we're from the W's.
How is our sister?
Yeah, hold up a second. What were you doing at Balmer? You've only got 3 lorries with cranes on them. I've bought Powellfinger since they've been invented in the 1930s.
Mike, it doesn't count if you go down to a scrapyard and buy old ones, what fellas don't use no more, and get tippers, go and buy a second-hand body and try to reconfigure the whole lorry. Like that doesn't count as buying Powellfinger. When you reverse the hook loader through their showroom or something like that, I'm not sure they would have been happy about it. Or when the test mock-up they did for the bin, when you hooked onto it and tried to pull it out, not realising it was a demo, and yanked out the side of it, I'm not sure it would have gone that well, mate. If I am on the manor, I will be popping in to see you.
Well, call in, don't forget. Call in and say hello.
I won't forget, mate. The traffic is brutal everywhere in Central on the 25. I believe there's a train strike and the protesters are blocking up parts of the 25 as well. Bartek managed to get to the yard even though he got there late, and now he is going to fit the new LCD screen on the bagging plant. We have a bagged aggregate job at the moment, which is quite far away, but we're delivering 60 bags a day. So we are using the flatbed to do it. As you can see, it's the perfect bit of kit for the job. While I was in Central, I thought I was popping into the dentist for a quick clean, and I ended up getting a filling because there was a hole in my tooth, and anaesthetic hasn't worn off yet, so half my face ain't moving. But we can see here, we are building a structure to put a roof above the controls for the bagging area, so it's covered. So this is just steel and bits we had around the yard. We're putting it together, then we can bolt it down here, and then we can provide some sort of shelter to stop water going on the controls, even though they are waterproof, and whoever's using it, so they have a bit of shelter from the elements as well. The bagging plant isn't 100%, but we're going to test it. So it's a little frame what we made. It's not completely dry, but we put the resin in the ground, and tomorrow morning we'll be able to tighten it up fully. So this is going to be here, that's going to be there. It's in line with the frame before you say, it's sticking out too much. It could hit a jumbo jet. And from that point to this point, we're going to have corrugated sheeting just to cover this, so when you stand in front of it, it shields you a little bit from the elements. Time to get the hopper loaded. Forklift ready. We haven't set up parameters of maximum weight, but it is working. The trouble is we have to leave our finger on the button of this unit here. The reason we kept the belt going is because we want to completely clean out everything in this. We don't want to leave any material, keep it going, empty everything from there, get it into this, and then we can start bagging over here. But I have a bag of shingle. We need to set it up properly to get the weights right, but I just wanted to make sure that it was working. We got some grease nipples to connect in the morning. We're gonna put grease points on all of these and run a cable down to here so we can grease all the points up there from down here, because we're gonna be climbing up on a ladder. Let's see what it looks like when this forklift goes in and grabs it. And now you have a ton bag of shingle. We didn't put much material in. Just gonna put that bag of shingle down the end. We're just going to use the rest of the material that's in the hopper here, so this is cleaned out as well. I've got plenty of emails and stuff to do. My face is still hurting. It's not moving. But a good start. Thursday I'm in the yard. And I start the day where I left yesterday. I'm back over at the bagging plant. Been working on this morning, we're nearly finished. We're gonna put one more corrugated sheet here, then to protect this so no one backs into it. And so you've kind of got somewhere to sit. We're gonna put a jersey barrier here and one jersey barrier there. So it protects the people using this, and it also protects all our operating equipment and protects our makeshift structure. Will spent today working on this, the head of tech. He was talking to loads of different companies, their technical departments, trying to set this up. And Will has told me this is working now. So I'm just waiting for Flo and Teu, and our forklift has a puncture, but we have an in-house tire fitter now. So he is now fixing that. While I'm waiting, had a conversation earlier about a special project. And as part of that project, they want to work with a haulier who is going to try and operate an electric vehicle. Those are conversations that I have wanted to have for a long time, but I need some level of support, because obviously you want to go and buy a electric truck. It is double the price. Now, no manufacturer will just sell you the electric truck. They want to talk to you about the journey it's doing, how many of those journeys you expect it to do, so they can try to work out the range and the payload based on how many batteries they put on it. We've done another video where we were talking about one of the electric Mercedes trucks. Fortunately, the electric truck will be for one specific project. So I've told them the miles to and from, I've told them how many loads we think we're going to do a day, and I've told them in the yard we have 3-phase power. So now they need to work out what sort of charging station we need and what sort of vehicle. But I can tell you that an electric truck is double the price of a normal truck, and it doesn't have the same payload, but again, it's testing towards a sustainable future and reducing the carbon footprint. Now it's time to test this bagging plant. The moment of truth. Is the bagging plant finally fully operational? Da 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 da, da da da. Da, 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 da. Confident this will work. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. Oh. One. Second one. Bang. 2 of them are on. Give Flo the thumbs up. Keeping it moving. Material's coming. That green button is flashing. 3, 2, 1. building up, building up, building up, building up. It's filling. Will it stop? Come on. Material still coming. Still going. More materials in at that end, it's filling. And more material comes in, here it is. The bagging plant is working. Let's have a look, let's have a look. Let's prove that that's a nice sized ton bag. Forklift goes in, bang, another one, another bag goes on, and now we can start the mash production in our officially working, hold on, one sec. Finished the galvanized sheet here, 2 jersey barriers. We're good to go. I'd like to thank all those who took part and worked hard. That's made my day. And what did I say last week when I was away? I said this week, I have to get this bagging plant working. We really need this bagging plant working. It's just a pointless exercise. It's Friday, it's 12:25. The Ashville bagging plant is officially ready. Oh yeah, just gonna turn it off quickly. Saturday and I'm in the yard. Quiet day in the yard. We're just doing general maintenance, and I am catching up on a lot of construction stuff that I missed this week because I was so busy with other matters. The client has given us a Pinterest of the cinema and a couple of other areas, but there were so many different options of things they like. We're just trying to home in on it. We know the brief for the lighting. We're going to have the star lights like you saw at KSI's. We're going to have wall lighting. We're going to build the ceiling to have the lighting that you saw us build at Castle Shalalambus. There's a number of different features there, but we need to work on the textures, wall layouts, and how we're going to build those up. Caught up on a bunch of other emails, also on some emails to do with Sideman Simon's room and how we are pricing that. As I said before, it's great now having someone on board who can do graphics for us when we need them, especially seeing as Will doesn't like doing it, do you, Will?
I don't mind.
You don't mind, which means Will doesn't like doing it. So I was reviewing the Ashville account forms, you know, when people want to use us for service for concrete grabs, skips, tippers, haulage, material. And I've sent the account form off for someone to check it again because, truth be told, that account form is very old and there's new legislation about data protection, and there could be new things which we could add to it to improve, to ensure that we get paid and to ensure that we're also protecting clients, so it's fair. And I've got Meds to make some new artwork for it for the front page, because the other one was just like a rubbish picture that I basically put together so many years ago. But day by day I go through the business and I see what we can perfect. So today that grabbed my attention. It looks a bit like the trailer, like you know when you're going to the cinema and it says coming soon, Transformers, and everyone's just going to be just mad arms in. That's kind of like the artwork I like to do. After we got the bagging plant working yesterday, we worked on fitting the grease points, and as I said, we don't want people climbing all over the bagging plant and risking injury in order to grease, but we have to grease, otherwise it's not going to last us very long. So let's go and check that out now. It now means that in this area, the guys only need to go in there for maintenance and cleaning, and when they do, everything will be shut off, but when the gates open, it doesn't work anyway. So here we go, here's another plate. You just stand here, apply grease, and that goes through the hoses, and that goes to the working parts, which can be greased. And here is the last one here. If we follow it along there, see it goes up there. I had a conversation with Andrew Southern, who you've seen me with in the past. The exact term he used was there's blood on the streets. He's referring to financially. The way it looks things are going at the moment, a lot of people, panic is setting in. There are a number of companies which are struggling, and financial institutions are beginning to call back in their debts, or they're beginning to ask people to refinance, and the rates are going upwards. Not to mention interest rates, and the cost of living with electric and food is going up as well. So my advice would be to batten down the hatches. The only thing I say in these situations is that we are all in the same climate. So whether your company is this big, or you work for a company, like, we're in the same climate. So the people who apply themselves and evolve accordingly tend to survive in most scenarios, whereas people who don't adapt and they don't try to be dynamic, they end up suffering, to say the least. One good thing to report while I'm in this area is that Terry managed to secure the order, which I spoke about a couple of weeks back. So that's a decent size order for us to be doing over January and December, which aren't normally busy times. So hopefully that keeps us busy. And this is going on a post on LinkedIn. Wilson made me a lovely video with a drone because I'm very proud of this bagging plant. I need to get back to my office and create more emails, which will go out Monday morning, 7 o'clock. And at some point I need to go home and pack, because at 4 p.m. on Sunday, I am heading to Las Vegas for a week of filming. I just hope that in my absence, when I can't communicate with people, that I'm not holding anything up. But, you know, I can always check at the end of the day. But I hope what I've done thus far will give people enough to do until I can check. That's the plan anyway. Sunday, I'm at the lounge at Heathrow, waiting for my flight to go to Las Vegas, filming the next episode of the TV show. I really feel blessed today. I've never been to Vegas, and now I'm getting flown business class, and I get to do what I love in front of the camera. I'm going to use the journey to Vegas, which is 10 odd hours, to write some brief notes and make some scripts. I'm going to be starting a Daniel Ashville personal channel away from This Is Ashville, which is going to have slightly different content on it. But I'm actually working out what that content is. And on the channel, like, some people are upset because we are not doing train montages anymore, and some people don't want to see as much of my personal life and the battles I have that aren't business related. They want to see machines, they want to see trucks, they want to see property, which is fine, because that is how we started the channel. But as I've evolved, as the business has evolved, and as I'm going to be traveling around the world, I want to share what I'm doing. And there are a number of areas in my life which you only see a snippet of, like a lot of the training I do. And more important than muscles and more important than weight loss is mobility. I've recovered from 2 ruptured cruciate ligaments, 2 slip discs in my back, L4, L5. I've basically had my shoulder reconstructed. I've broke my arm, I've broke my leg, I've broke 2 ribs, my wrist, 2 of my toes, and I managed to still be here. My weight fluctuates, as you can see. I'm not a personal trainer. It's not going to be a fitness channel, but I'm not one of these guys into this whole CrossFit or whatever the latest fashion is. I still train old school like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If there's anything you would like to see on the Daniel Ashville personal channel, let me know, because I'm trying to formulate exactly what's going to be on that channel now, and I'm not going to tell you the release date because I'm putting myself under even more pressure than I'm already under. Filming episode 3 now, got another few episodes to film, all before Christmas, and loads of work to do in the yard. Caught up with Terry earlier briefly. I'm going to watch episode 108, going to download it to my laptop because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So there's a lot to do. I'm healthy, I feel blessed, gonna stay hydrated and make my way to Las Vegas. Had a good session working on the laptop. It's 7 a.m. tomorrow. People are just going to hate me. There's going to be hundreds of emails flying into people's inboxes. I'm just trying to keep my head down, man. Like, I have to focus. I just have to block out everything else, block out the noise, block out the celebration, stay hydrated, keep my head down and work. I'm going to be in Las Vegas in a few hours. And I'm still shocked and I can't believe it's going to happen. I'll believe it when I step out of that airport. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Thank you. Can you believe your boy's in Vegas? So we just touched down. The car has collected me, and lucky for me, we get to drive down the strip. Boy, it's kind of surreal. I've never been here before, and I only see these things on television, so I'm kind of gassed. I'm a bit like a tourist. My head's out the window, like a dog trying to get wind in his ears. Bubblegum shrimp, boy. It's a deep dish. Sugar factory, boy, they better keep me away from there now. Where would I start? Oh, look at that burger. Gordon Ramsay burger. Oh, British flag. Oh, this is crazy, man. I've come here to film a TV show, and it don't feel like that long ago that I was sitting in my mum's in my boxers on my laptop, like working on quote after quote after quote that wasn't getting accepted, when I was going to the rubbish tip myself, when I was carrying rubble sacks, when I was doing everything, and it was just me, Chris, Michael, Bartek, no lorries in sight, just doing small construction jobs. Owen from MP Moran sitting on his floor, him teaching me about building materials. That can only be like 15 years ago, and the amount of times my friends went on holiday and I couldn't go, and everyone said,
No, you need to take some time off, you're going to kill yourself, stop doing this, stop doing that, maybe there's another way, maybe that's not for you.
And then I started with the videos, and people had good things to say, some people had bad things to say. But what I know now is that the business at home is doing well. I have a good team, and I have come to Las Vegas to film an international TV show. And I am gassed, and I am thankful. And you're gonna have to learn more about this next week in Ashville Weekly, because that's it for Ashville Weekly, episode 101. No, sorry, episode 110. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click here for last week's episode, which was number 109.